Hey gays and gals, I'm Chris, aka ChristopherJMUA, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be comparing and contrasting the KVD Good Apple Concealer with the Benefit Boing Bright On Concealer. So if you'd like to see the differences and the similarities between these concealers, see an all-day wear test, and if you'd like to know my personal thoughts, then stay exactly where you are because we're getting into it right now. The KVD Good Apple Foundation is $28, has full coverage, and contains apple extract and raspberry stem cells. The Benefit Bright On Concealer is $24, has buildable coverage, contains algae extract, and vitamin C. Before we begin with the actual concealer application, I'm gonna go ahead and put foundation all over my face just like I would in a normal skincare routine. And just so you're aware of what I've used thus far, I have primed my skin already using the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, as always, the Winky Lux Whipped Cream Primer, again, as always, and currently the Bobbi Brown Eye Repair Cream. I got it in a sample from Sephora and I've been loving that stuff. I've been using it literally every time I've been putting on my makeup and I have no regrets so far. But we're not here today to talk about the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Under Eye Cream. We're here to talk about the KVD Good Apple Concealer and the Benefit Boing Bright Under Eye Concealer. So give me just a second to throw on some foundation all over my face and I'll be right back. Got my skin looking flawless and fresh using my Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation. This is by far my favorite foundation at the moment. If you guys didn't see the review I filmed of this, it's right there. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But now for the concealer. I'm gonna use the KVD on my left side, your right side. Good God, I look like a zombie right now. And then the Benefit Boing on the right side, your left side. I'm also going to be setting things using the Fenty Beauty Lavender Pro Filter Setting Powder. Let's first start with the KVD Good Apple, and I'm going to use this in a way that I don't normally use my concealer in the placement. I try to be a little more sparing with my concealer applications and just do a few dots to cover up my darkness and to just help brighten those under eyes, make me look a little more awake, or at least like I slept a little bit last night. Today, I really want to see how it wears on my lines. I want to see if it creases throughout the day really heavily or if it's flexible and just sinks in. So I'm gonna make sure that I really cover this outer edge so that whenever I smile, since I'm very emotive, all of these little creases will happen. I'm not gonna set them in place, but that'll just help us see how it wears even better. Definitely gotta get the under eyes right where I'm really dark, and that's this centermost point. I'm gonna pull it out. Wow, this is a really, really wet formula. It feels almost kind of watery. Then gonna pull up just a little bit to sort of define that outer edge and lift my cheekbones, make me look a little more snatched, if you will. And then for highlighting purposes, just gonna pull it to this center part of my cheek. Also gonna take a bit on my forehead, just on this left side. This will also help clarify how it works on the creasing on my 11 because it gets pretty rough throughout the day. It even feels really watery, kind of oily, like an oil base. And I do have to agree with the claims that they say it's lightweight. It for sure feels lightweight, and just with a little bit, whenever you blend it out, it disappears into nothing. Not coverage-wise, because there's still a little bit of pigment there, obviously, but you can't feel it. It's not thick or heavy. Now before this dries and sticks to my face and doesn't move, let's go ahead and blend it in. Let me make sure I actually face where you can see things. Coverage is very nice. It blended out beautifully too. I feel like I got maybe 1 or 2 shades too light. It's a little stark in comparison to the foundation, but that's okay because it's still looking really beautiful, really brightened, which is what I need. I mean, look at how dark that side is versus that side. Bright, bold, and beautiful. Now let's blend the forehead on the left side. Oh good, I actually did want to conceal my brow hair. I forgot to tell you guys I wanted to do that, but obviously I have achieved that goal. Okay, now that I look ridiculous being half highlighted, let's move on to the Benefit Boing side. I'm really trying not to laugh or smile too much because this isn't set yet, and I really don't want to get it all creasy before I do, but it doesn't really matter. I can always just blend it out again. I definitely prefer the KVD applicator. I really enjoy the pointed tip because it lets me get a lot of control right in that inner corner, and I love filling that spot with concealer because that's where I like looking the brightest at, since that's normally where I'm the darkest at. And same method of application, just gonna fill in the little triangle here and make sure I go over my smile lines on the outside. Now this one's a lot more streaky when it comes to actually putting it on. With the KVD concealer, I could see full coverage from the moment I put it on to the entire time I was moving the wand through it. This one I can actually see when I'm moving it, it's moving the concealer as well, so I don't think the coverage is quite as strong, but the Benefit Concealer claims to be more buildable and the KVD is full coverage to begin with. I'm very happy that I at least got two shades that are both too light rather than being lopsided with my brightness. Ooh, the consistency is much thicker with this Benefit Concealer. Drying a little bit faster as well, so it's kind of more difficult to spread it around as easily. I mean, it's not hard, it's just more difficult than the KVD side because I'm pretty sure with the KVD feeling more like an oil base, with the warmth of my skin, it's gonna melt and spread just easier. I almost forgot the forehead. How can we do a real concealer creased forehead comparison wear test without concealer on both sides of the forehead? You can't. Okay, what do you guys think so far? Again, the KVD side and the Benefit side. So far, I'm not really noticing too much of a difference. I can for sure tell the KVD formula is just thinner. It spreads a little bit easier, but it's not as thick looking. But in turn, that also makes the coverage a little bit less than what the Benefit Concealer offers. And that's the main thing I can tell between the two. Now, creasing really is about the same between both of them. I've had the KVD one on longer, and I can see that it's a little more creasy than the Benefit one, but based on the way this side's looking so far, I'm assuming it's probably gonna look just as creasy being wet. The thing I don't like about the KVD side the most is because of that lack of pigment within the formula, or the fact that it's thinner and the pigment's not able to stick as much, it is making it where my creases are filling with color more than the surface of my crease, if that makes sense, like my eye bag, essentially. So I can see the discoloration from my under eyes coming through on those bigger section of my under eyes versus the actual creases. So to get consistent results, I'm gonna try and build the coverage just a little bit more with both concealers. Before I do that, I thought I'd show you a close-up on my phone of what my under eyes look like, because I feel like that'll tell the most secrets. Why won't it zoom? Well, I don't know why it won't zoom, but you can still see KVD side, Benefit side. Both are creasing just about the same. I mean, they're not set, you know? And I'm very emotive, I'm very expressionful. I've also got a line down my forehead that I didn't see until now. But here's how we're looking so far. Obviously the KVD side, I still have this darkness all through here. You can see those purples and blues very easily. The Benefit side is definitely more covered automatically just based on first application, but I'm thinking the KVD will get there. After second application, I think both of these are perfect. I really don't think I could choose between the two right now. I just feel like they both look really beautiful. So I think this is gonna come down to literally just how they wear throughout the day. And if you think about the fact that I just used a sponge to blend those out, no finger application, no brush application, and a sponge soaks up more product than any other tool, that is amazing coverage for both of them. So now I'm just going to lightly blend out my creasing, hold my face in what looks like horror so that I can set my under eyes. Now my 11, make sure it's set and locked in place. And here is how we're looking set with powder. Both sides are really smooth. They both still look great to me. I'm torn. I'm gonna need you guys' help on this one. I know, I can already tell. I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera, finish off the rest of my face makeup. I'm not doing anything major today. I'm gonna be cutting all three of my niece's hair, so I don't have time to do some eyeshadow or any kind of amazing eye look, but that is okay because this is all about the concealer today. So give me just a second to do that. I'll pop back, let you guys see the finished skin before I start to go about the rest of my day. My face is done, concealer is set and sprayed with setting spray. I believe everything's dried now, so let's see what it looks like. Okay, fresh application, here we are. What do you guys think so far? Again, both look great, but the KVD side is creasing a little bit more than the Benefit side. Now I will say my left under eye does get more creasy normally. I've just got more lines there, but what I'm most interested in isn't these parts because they always crease most of the time, but I'm interested in these parts. These are what we're really gonna be able to tell throughout the day. So at this point, I've got a few things to do around the house before I do my niece's haircut, so I'm gonna get to work being the best house husband there ever was, and I'll see you guys for my first check-in. Okay guys, here we are with our first check-in, the KVD side on the left and the Benefit on the right. So far, I've gotta say the KVD is lasting better than the Benefit is. You can see on my smile lines on the side that the Benefit side is definitely much more pronounced. Wow, I look really textured with this camera, but I don't look like this in real life. Not quite that bad. Anyway, the KVD side is still much smoother and it hasn't creased nearly as much. Same thing for the 11 up there. The left part of my 11 is much more smooth than the right part. So for creasiness and longevity, I've got to go with KVD so far, but we'll see how it works for the last check-in. We've officially hit 8 hours and I'm tired. I cut my niece's hair, the grandbaby Madeline and Big Papa, my hubby, played in the hot tub in the Maddie pool, did a lot of laundry, and washed my brushes finally with my roommate. Thank goodness I had Nathan to help me. Needless to say, I've been laughing and smiling a lot, talking a lot, emoting a lot. So let's zoom in and see how these cracks are looking. 8 hours. What do we think? Oh, by the way, the check-in earlier, that was at the 4-hour mark. I realized afterward that I didn't actually say how long it had been, but that's how long it had been. So let me get in here and look close up, see what we're working with. I think I've still got to hand it to the KVD side. To me, the Benefit side looks very dry, very, very textured, and I just don't think it wore very well. It's funny because I feel like it wore like it feels. Like the way it applies, and when you rub it between your fingers, if you ever do that, it feels like it's a little bit thicker of a consistency and isn't gonna be as flexible. And I bet if I would have baked my under eyes, I probably would have gotten a lot more longevity out of that Benefit one, but I just don't do that anymore normally. I mean, I put it on and then I take it off. But the KVD side looks like it's actually been sort of flexible with my skin. It has still creased for sure, but it's not nearly as creasy and dry and textured looking as the Benefit side. But what do you guys think? Vote for your side. KVD Good Apple Concealer or Benefit Ultra Bright Under Eye Concealer? Let me know down in the comments which one you guys prefer. I think for me, it's gonna hands down be the KVD concealer. Just basing it on the experience between these two, I've got to say this one just worked better and the longevity was longer. The only thing I didn't like from this one is it took a little more to build it up on the parts of my skin that weren't a crease, and that was kind of annoying. But I would imagine if I put on the concealer and set my powder immediately like I normally would if I'm just applying my makeup on the regular and not filming it for a video, I probably wouldn't have time to crease as much, but it still didn't crease too bad in the beginning. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the knockout drag down of the KVD concealer and the Benefit concealer. If you did and you enjoy videos like this, please don't forget to hit subscribe right down there and hit the notification bell right beside that in case you might want to be notified when I upload a new video. Also, if you'd like to see any of my looks, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, then please at least gain this, and that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.